J Mack from Syracuse, New York, man. Came all the way out to see my Colorado Buffs.
What channel do you watch that brought you out here?
The pregame show.
Never watched the college game till last season when Coach Prime came to Colorado. And I am in Colorado at Folsom Field. I am the Colorado Buffaloes auntie from Texas. Sweet treat.
Hey, I've been following the pregame show. It's all about let's go Buffs.
Away from Texas, yes sir. Watch you every single day. Nobody lays it down like Uncle Neely and the pregame show.
Neely, pregame show behind the scenes from everything. And why does he get that kind of access? Why does he get that kind of access? Because trust is involved. You would never get the kind of access you desire unless there's trust and relationship. You're trying to put your up on game.
Hey guys, this is your boy Uncle Neely coming to you from Coach Prime's Recruiting Lounge for the first episode of many to come of Pro Strat with my man Reggie Calhoun Jr. What's going on, brother?
Good, man. Good, man.
Yeah, this is an idea that you cooked up and blessed me to be a part of. I'm looking forward to these many conversations as we strategize.
Yeah.
On these guys who are turning pro, not just pro in football, but professional in life.
Oh, yeah, because it's all changing. So I appreciate you allowing me to be on this platform, man, for sure.
Hey, Mi Casa, Su Casa. The pregame show network is your network.
Boom.
Yeah, you know what? I went and got duplicate keys made. You ain't got to ask me when you want to drive it. Just bring back a little gas in it.
Hey, man, that's easy. That's easy. You come back full.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I ain't got to be full. Just put a little gas in it, man.
That's easy, man.
Put a little gas in it. So, the world of NIL.
Yeah.
I know you're not going to say this. And Walter Payton, homeboy from Mississippi, played at Jack State HBCU. He once said something, I'm paraphrasing. You can tell people you're good, but other folks will say when you're great. So you're not going to say this, I'm saying this. When it comes to this NIL space, you're great. Like, you're not getting invited to come to these conferences and these think tanks because you're average or good, because you're great. So I want the audience to understand the backbone of you have a rich history in what we're going to be discussing.
100.
So talk to us before we go into the subjects for the day about that history, about the work you've been doing in this space.
Yeah, man. So for the last decade or so, I've been working with athletes in their transition, right?
I hate to interrupt you. A decade.
Man.
See, NIL is a couple years older people.
Yeah.
But you've been in this space 10 years plus.
100%. Because, NIL is just another added layer to transition and development of athletes, right?
Yeah.
So for that, I've been helping athletes transition from high school to college, from college to real life, and how do you build a career or a brand or an opportunity for yourself outside of playing.
Yeah.
So when NIL became a thing, it was just like, I've already been in this space.
Yeah.
So now you're kind of working within the highlights of the NIL space, but it's literally for the last decade or so, I've been working with athletes in their transition.
Because they're going to transition.
100%.
95 ain't going pro, but everybody is going to leave here.
Yeah.
100% are leaving here.
Yeah. And
so these opportunities, can be catching lightning in a bottle to some degree. Like, you got to be ready for them because they go by fast.
Yeah. And you think about it from the standpoint on the NIL side, right? NIL is literally, what do you want to be associated with, right? So everybody keeps talking about how much money everybody's making, but a career is a career. It doesn't matter whether it's media, medical, writing, traveling, whatever it is, or podcasting, whatever the case may be. But most athletes all want to chase the same things, just like everybody wants to chase D1. And now D1 has changed.
Yeah.
So you went from, I want to get a D1 offer. Now it's like, I want an NIL deal. So now it's like, how do you frame everything for an athlete to go from high school to college in this professional space now?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is now. It's professional sports now.
Yeah.
Right? Just with a caveat.
Sure. And when you talk about that branding or that partnership, one of the challenges I have when I talk to athletes is they're quick to say who they want to partner with.
Mm-hmm.
Rightly so, understood, but don't understand the nuances of making yourself attractive to folks who want to partner with you.
Right. So we all have our dream job, dream car, dream house, right?
Yeah.
But how are you set up to actually attract those people, right? So for instance, like a big brand like a Nike.
Yeah.
Ask yourself, why would Nike want to work with you? And not saying that they won't,
Yeah.
But asking yourself why, right? What do you offer? What do you stand for? What are your ethos? What are your pillars of, hey, this is who I am. If I go to social media now, what does social media say about you?
Yeah.
Right? What does the internet say about you? So it's like, yes, have your dream 100 of people, but how do you fit those people, right? What kind of campaigns can they actually run with you, or do you just want to wear their logo?
Yeah. Now this is me saying this, and you tell me if I'm crazy. You see a lot of like say NIL or collective stuff, and it's maybe not so cognizant of I'm going to utilize this athlete and I hope to sell more merchandise because of him.
Yeah.
It's almost like, well, I went to the school and this is my way of giving back. So whether it works or not, I want to participate. But when you get on that bigger level of NIL, I'm partnering with you because I want to make profit off of you.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a difference and a disconnect that people don't realize. Like
True.
Nike ain't coming to you if you ain't helping Nike sell more
Man,
shoes.
I'll tell you that much for sure, right? And that's true in NIL, right? So you look at the collective space and what NIL has traditionally been talked about. It was blending what charity is.
Yeah.
But they were just giving money just to say
Yeah.
we want to give money. But true NIL is how much is this kid actually worth, right? Not just athletically, but what are you worth to our school, right? Are you going to sell jerseys? Are you going to sell tickets to the game?
Yeah.
Are you going to have a fan that's going to be out the door waiting for you to sign an autograph? Can we monetize your actual NIL? And I think that's where everything is going now in 2025, right? There'll be a base of this will be paying you, but if you want more, you have to be more.
Yeah.
So it's like, it sounds great.
Wait, you got to slow the train down. If you want more, you got to be more.
Got to be more, right? Because you're not going to just you can ask for more money.
Yeah.
But why am I giving you more money if you're not doing more to get more money? Meaning, if you was only going to one event and it was giving you this much money, and you say, well, I want to get more money, that means you got to do more events.
Events, sure.
And if you don't want to do more events, then you don't want more money.
In a previous life, I worked for a couple of sports agencies, and one of my things was to take guys to the Senior Bowl, get them ready for the interviews. And they'd be like, Coach Neal, what I do when I get in there? I said, think of it this way. What would you want to hear from somebody that was about to invest, that you were about to invest $10 million in? Now keep in mind, you want at least a 10% return.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting this 10 up now, you got to come back with 11 for me to feel comfortable doing this. So how do you articulate yourself to these GMs, player personnel, people, owners, to make them feel comfortable investing in you? And it's the same thing with NIL. When you talked about earlier about your social media footprint, are you somebody I want to associate my brand with?
Yeah, and a lot of times, right, a lot of athletes want to have this mysterious brand, right? No profile picture, one post and stuff like that. But every deal that comes through, they're going to ask you, what have you done in the past? Show me some of your past partnerships. If you have none, the deal is probably not going to go in your favor, right? So it's like, you want them to understand the value of a dollar, and you want them to get paid, yes. But the numbers that they're asking for or they're looking for is like, what are you giving for that? Sure. Right? So it's like, can we really give you $10,000? Right? And have you actually put in $10,000 worth of work?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna bank it on playing?
Yeah.
Right? Well, I've played, I was All-American, blah blah, but an average company CMO has no idea what the value of an All-American is.
Sure.
They don't get that.
No.
So you got to be able to sell, I play ball, I was All-American. Also, my followers are this and my engagement is this, and I've done these partnerships in the past. And this is my body of work. Versus, man, I caught 2 touchdowns last week. Give me a deal. Don't matter to them.
No.
Because, companies are looking for like 4 different things. It's like brand awareness, lead gen, they want to convert sales, or they just want to build a partnership with somebody for the long haul, for all that.
Sure, I mean, at minimum, you got to be helping them collect data.
Something.
They got to get something out this. Yeah. Because money ain't, out there on trees just picking it. They want a return on their investment, man.
100%, man.
One of the things you and I were chatting about just sitting around in the office, we here in Colorado, of course, the 2 biggest names here are Shedeur and Travis. And there's the question, the debate, the think tank. Travis and Shedeur, do they help NIL? Do they hurt NIL in this space? Like when you have guys like that on your team, what does it mean to the other players and so on and so on?
So I truly believe that Travis and Shador will never happen ever again. Right? Those two will never happen again on a team. Not from a talent wise.
Yeah.
But these are two celebrities. Right? People don't realize like these are celebrity athletes. They're student athletes, but they're celebrity athletes.
That's a great point.
Too, right? So you will never have two true celebrities in college. Right? Even if you look at UT, they have a celebrity name. But that kid's not a celebrity.
Yeah.
Right? He has a family name, but he's not his own.
Sure.
Right? And no knock on him, but it's like, look at branding wise, Travis and Shador have a certain level of stardom. Like they can sell out any space, right? So people are looking like, okay, well, Travis plays this position, my stats are better than his. I should make what he make. But Travis also has a brand. He's on the cover of the game. He got these deals that actually make sense. He's on commercials. He has a following, right? He has a personality. Shador, he's no longer just Coach Prime's son.
No, at all.
He is no longer just the coach's son. He is a brand.
Yeah.
So if I go say I want to do a deal with Shador Sanders, I know what I'm getting. I know what he's gonna bring. I know the outreach that's gonna happen, and I can sell out any pop-up shop in 2 days.
Sure.
Because of that. If you can't do that, we can't compare those two. So I believe that Travis and Shador hurts NIL just from the optics of the players. Because the coaches now have to have a real combo, right? And then sometimes the coaches will overpay an athlete because they don't even know what it takes to actually manage two celebrities. So they hurt that from the standpoint of the coaches really aren't equipped to combat or overcome that objection of comparing to a Shador.
Never looked at it that way.
But they help the NIL too, because it's saying if you really want to do what they're doing, you got to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Meaning go do a commercial shoot, go get a branding deal, run an ad, have a following, be present online, go do some autographs, be visible, be on TV, be on the cut commercial. Like, are you really ready to schedule your day out?
Yeah.
And
it's one thing is amazing. I know why you left it out, because you were talking about the business side, but none of that happens if they're not the best at what they do in football.
100%.
So we ain't even talked about that part today.
Yeah. And then you gotta look at the body of work of both these athletes. They've been doing it consistently for years, athletically. Shador can go to any team in America and beat Shador Sanders.
Yeah.
Travis did that at Jackson.
Yeah.
He was Travis there. He was Travis here. He was Travis in high school.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes, and this is where like the NIL kind of was like our battle is, without the school, you're not that good. So are you hiding in the system, or are you really that decent? So when people try to like compare their stats to these two guys' stats, plus their notoriety, plus their celebrityness, and you're missing like a lot of pieces, right? So from the business side of the athletics, those two will never happen ever again.
Yeah.
Ever.
I see your point in it. Because for them to be they're a year apart in age. Shador's a year older, but when it comes to exiting college, they're both in the same calendar. Travis is eligible to leave this year, just like Shador is. I never thought about that celebrity status that they have in being here at the same time, and how difficult, impossible that would be to accomplish at another college, deliberately or lightning in the bottle. Because you think about these two guys, there are people with similar stats in college football, but in the middle of a game during a timeout, would LeBron James recognize them? Like, know who they are.
Yeah.
And go over there and dap them up, hug them, and say, I'm going to send y'all some stuff.
Easy.
Like, there's another quarterback and another DB with, like, similar attributes. But that celebrity part that they bring to the table.
Man, it's so different, man, because you got to start looking at the athlete in its totality.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, oh, he was an All-American at this school. Nah, because now in revenue share, you know, if I'm sharing my money with you, I want to know that I'm going to get something back, right? And it's a guaranteed layup, easy win if you bring Shador and Travis into the mix. There's not whatever you ask for, you're gonna give it. Give it to them because it's easy, right?
Even in the thunderstorm, like there is no rain delay or rain out. people coming.
You know what you're getting,
Yeah.
right? So for every athlete in the NIL space, and you're looking at a Travis and Shador, how do you mimic what they've done? They have 10,000 hours of TV time and being in the spotlight and handling it the correct way. They already at expert level, right? They're about to go into a new space where they're going to be rookies in that level, but on this stage, they are already at expert level. 10,000 hours already happened with them since high school.
Amazing. But how do we break that barrier of between delusion and reality? My words, not theirs, not yours.
Yeah.
Because some people are delusional, and then you have reality. How do we break that barrier between delusional and reality on what the Travis and Shador are atypical? What's the reality for the typical student athlete?
In as far as like getting
NIL,
there?
yeah.
So a typical athlete, man, you gotta start local. So you start local, build regional, go national. Everybody wants to go national off the jump, right?
Yeah.
Well, you have to be a local star first. Build at home.
Yeah.
Then you build regionally.
Yeah.
And then if you happen to go from Florida to Boulder, well, that fan base needs to come with you.
Yeah.
And you got to have that data, right? So what have you done at home to prove that I'm bringing you 10,000 fans with me?
I love that start local. You look at Caitlin Clark, what she was doing in college.
Start local. Man.
Before the world knew who she was putting up the numbers. She was doing her thing. And then by the time the world caught on, here's a national person, on the campus in Iowa. But it's almost like Beyonce and them. Beyonce and them is in Destiny Child. By the time we heard them and started rocking with them, man, they've been doing that 10 years.
They was already straight. In one of the big cities too.
Yeah.
They was already good.
Oh, they were Houston celebrities and then Texas celebrities.
Yeah.
And when they became national celebrities, we like, oh man, you heard this new group? Well, Houston like, oh man, I remember they were little kids singing. They've been doing that.
Man, the craziest thing is every athlete have an opportunity to do NIL, get an NIL deal, build a brand. If they don't leave local first.
Yeah.
Like start local. Start building the connections locally and then take that to your neighboring cities and states. And then by the time you enter on a Power 4 level, you can bring your fan base with you.
Yeah.
Versus trying to build locally here and you have no ties here, you're not from here, you're only going to be here for 4 years. You was just somewhere for 18 years.
There's a big difference between getting an NIL deal with Canes internationally than it is getting one with the Canes near your campus.
Yeah. And that's educating them on the difference between a franchisee owner and the corporate chain.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody wants to go shoot to the corporate deal. But the franchisee owner might be your neighbor who needs some awareness.
Yeah, or an alum of the school or your church member,
And they all own businesses. But everybody is looking over the small businesses. But NIL truly is for small businesses. It's for small, medium-sized businesses because they're the ones who need the marketing. And if an athlete looks at themselves as a small business too, now you're doing business-to-business deals and you're not doing NIL deals.
Now, Reg, with all that, how important is it to still keep the main thing because that's why they want you anyway?
That's why you build your team. You focus on plan A and your team focus on plan B.
Okay.
And then you keep it separate and you only show up when it's time to work. Same way here. The coaches coach, players play. Well, your team on this side does that while you play.
Yeah.
So don't take away from.
So during your day, the student athlete is not managing his appearance schedule or social media. When I got to post this, you got somebody for that.
Somebody else. And that's what like a lot of folks like miss out on too. Like you have to have a real team because you didn't come here. You didn't come here to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
And you didn't
can't
come
play
here.
Ball.
You can't play football, right? Do that. But understand that when you hit a point where a Coach Prime mentions your name, something has to happen on the back end.
You realize now, right here on Pro Strat, you just told the people about a whole new cottage industry where you can be the manager of these things for student athletes.
I said something a couple years ago. I said NIL will create more jobs than any industry. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You got so many avenues that has to happen in this space for it to make sense. Because you got to deal with the athlete schedule, travel, practice in season. Out of season, they got to train.
Yeah, there's no off season for a student athlete.
So it's like, okay, so how do I fit them in here? And then who's gonna do the travel arrangements? Who's gonna do the social media management? Who's gonna do the securing the deals? Who's gonna read the contracts? Who's gonna there's a lot of jobs that will come, even from the smallest athlete.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at them as an enterprise and not just an athlete.
Most colleges, by nature of championships and bowl games, do not go to bowl games and championships. Their season is the last game.
Yep.
I'm going to use them as the barometer. Your only off period in college football now is probably around December 15th to January 15th. Now, you still have to be doing your stuff, right? Your stuff is year round as an individual athlete, but structured football activities are now about 11 months out the year.
100%.
So and ain't no off season no more.
And that takes you understanding like, okay, the landscape is this. What type of deals can I actually get them? How can we fit this in this window? Can we make it where it's conducive in his pocket? Right? And then the athlete got to know that, hey, no spring break.
Yeah, absolutely. But see, that's one thing I want to touch before we get out of here. The peaks and valleys of it. How do athletes manage that January through July when they may just be Joe Blow versus August through Thanksgiving when they are a known entity? Like, some people have arrived, Shador Travis, they are known 12 months, 365. 100%. Other people, you may not get known until the second week of October because you had a big game.
Yeah.
How do you navigate the calendar?
It's crazy, right? Because, playing football, the fall is where you kind of go dark. And then the spring is when you maximize your college hours and you're doing all the work. It's the same thing in football. NIL is for the spring. It's for the spring.
See, this brother educated me because I would have flipped it. I would have thought.
Because you got to stack.
When you hot, you hot.
You stack the wins, right?
Yeah.
So you stack August, September, October, November. You stack those wins and then you leverage those wins for the spring. Right, so it's in sales. It's called forecasting. So if I know I'm knocking all these.
No, I totally get it from a business standpoint.
Yeah, so you treat it the same way.
Yeah, I can't wait to order my, Christmas sale stuff in December. I gotta have already been buying in the spring.
Your Black Friday plan starts in July.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you stacking the wins now, knowing that one of these games I might pop off, but I won't even do anything for that until later, because if I jump at it now. Do I actually maximize the value of that deal, or do I get the right now money?
And see, that set me up for my for real last question, because this was in the back of my mind, and then you just kind of leaned toward it. I'm gonna quote Fat Joe. Fat Joe said, "Yesterday's price is not today's price."
Today's price.
How do you manage when an athlete does pop off October big game, 2 games in a row, and now his value seemingly is more than it was back in February? Is there an instant pivot, or you wait till time goes by? Like, how does that happen?
You set the deal up, you get a commitment, and then you forecast what that moment is going to actually mean 4 months from now. So if I pop in now, I know I'm going to keep doing that. So that means in March, I'm going to be even higher. So I'm already projecting for March in this current deal now.
Man, y'all better tune in every week, every time to soak up this game. I don't care if you're a mop or if you're a pamper or a sponge. Y'all better be soaking this up, man. Reggie Calhoun Jr., like I said, I'm saying it. He won't say it. He won't blow his own horn. And that's another old saying, the sound go further when somebody else blow your horn for you. So I'm going to blow his horn. The brother knows what he's talking about in this NIL space, has been dealing with it before it was a thing. Dealing with it in such a manner, guys like you helped it become a thing.
Yeah.
The O'Bannon brothers at UCLA, and then what you started doing is why we're here now.
That's why we're here now.
Yeah. Man, any parting words for the folks of this first episode?
Nah, man, it's just a great opportunity to be here and to kind of share opportunities for maybe even the smaller athlete to kind of get it. And for the mom or the dad who's trying to navigate this space, it's not as difficult as people make it seem, but it's steps.
It ain't as easy as some folks make it look either now.
It's not as easy. Because you can't be a celebrity like Usher.
No, they make it look easy.
They turn down more deals than they accept.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Another quote. This one I gave the students here at Colorado, the class I was doing with Coach Brian. You increase the value of your yeses with the number of no's. 100%. Like, you got to be able to turn stuff down so that when you say yes to something, it now has higher. If you say yes to everything, your yes has no value.
Everything easily acceptable has no value.
Man, we're going to tune in next week. We're going to bring this back to you on the Pregame Show Network Uncle Neely, Reggie Calhoun Jr., Pro Strat. I say it right?
Yeah, Pro Strat.
Pro Strat. I'm looking forward to this, man.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be
I'm
good.
looking forward to this. My man.
Always.
Yes, sir.
So where y'all from?
We up from Miami, Florida.
All the way from Miami.
All the way from Miami.
Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Hey, man, we love what you guys are doing, man. We want to support you in every way.
Appreciate your family.
And we're recruiting at home. Everything we see at home, we bring it this way.
My man.
You gotta believe. Dude, we've been believing since day one,
That's why I
dog.
gave him to
Remember
you.
back in Jackson State? We've been believing with you in the pregame show.